Hello everyone, my name is Scarlett. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great, splendid self-quarantine day. If you're not, hopefully this video will end up cheering you up. As you can see, I don't have any makeup on because today I do want to do a makeup related video, but it's not a tutorial because disclaimer, I am actually not a professional makeup artist, so everything that I'm about to say or do in this video are basically just knowledge or techniques that I pick up here and there watching other people's videos. I do enjoy watching and making makeup content, so I'm trying to do more of this kind of stuff on YouTube. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, remember to subscribe. I also have a makeup related Instagram. I will put that down below in the description box. If you're interested, go have a look and check it out and maybe follow me on there. I'm actually filming this on my iPhone front camera because apparently they now have a 4K setting, so the angle and the audio might be a little bit weird. I'm not even sure if I'm straight right now. I mean, I'm not straight, but I don't know if my iPhone is straight right now. I do have a clothing declutter video coming up, which is why we're doing this look right now. After me doing the look, I'll probably go straight into filming that clothing declutter video. So we are going to actually start from the beginning, because usually when I do IGTV, I already have my base ready. I just put on my eye makeup. But since it is a YouTube video, why don't we start from the beginning, you know? So first of all, I'm actually going to put on the NYX Bear With Me jelly base. So it looks like this. It looks very weird because when you dip your finger in there, it would disrupt it a little bit, but then minutes later, it will become normal again. It will look like a glass surface again. So I really like this base because it kind of pore filling. It's not as pore filling as the professional, but it is enough for me because I don't have extra large pores, and it's also very moisturizing, but not to the point where it's very oily. It's quite refreshing, that kind of moisturizing. Let me show you. As you can see, it's a glass surface again. Blows your mind, doesn't it? And then we're going to put on a color correcting base. This is the Etude House Face Blur base. It actually has some SPF in it, so sometimes I just use it as my sunscreen. This is a limited edition packaging with a base duck on there. It's completely pointless though. I mean, it's not particular molding, it's just a plastic film. So do I need it? No. But do I want it? Absolutely yes. Oh dang, I should have done like half face first, then you can see how color correcting it is. So we're now on to brows. Back in my university day, what I used to do is that I either use brow powder or I use brow pomade, but now I kind of like to use both of them. Both of these are Anastasia Beverly Hills. My color is soft brown. So you guys, how have you been during this quarantine time? I live in Hong Kong, so we don't have what is called a mandatory quarantine. We are just advised to stay inside, and you can bet that there will be people who don't listen to the government. I'm not saying that we should always trust the government. I'm just saying when the government starts to panic, maybe you should too. I have been recently loving to do my brows before everything because that way I can get a very precise brows, and if I mess up I can just go in with a foundation or concealer later. By the way, if you have been following me for a while, you might notice that I'm not speaking in a British accent in this video. That's because I have found out recently when doing presentations or a video, I do better speaking in an American accent. I have no idea why. I think it's because I watch so many YouTube videos that are made by YouTubers who are American. So whenever I talk to my friends, like in real life, I speak in a British accent. I talk like this. But if I'm doing a presentation, or if I'm reading a script, or if I'm doing a YouTube video, I always feel more comfortable speaking in American accent. Which I know that my American accent isn't exactly the most accurate American accent, but English is not my mother tongue, so I have a perfect excuse here. So now we have a very dark brow from the pomade. I am actually going to go in with the powder to soften things up a little bit. We're using the same brush though. So now we've done the brows, kind of. We are actually going to put on an eye base first. We are going to be using the P. Louise Rumor 02 eye base. I'm just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand like that. And then we're going to use this. This is also a P. Louise brush. I think it came with the package. I forgot why it's here. Actually, it just came with the package. It's very good for applying the base, but I would still use my finger to blend it out, just like that. And I think it is also okay to use this eye base to arch our brows, even though there might not be eyeshadow going all the way up, because it is a little bit colored, this eye base, so I think it's still good. So now that we have the eyeshadow base on, we are going to put on foundation as well as concealer. I am actually going to be using a combo of these two Japanese brand. This is a Muji. This is especially for the under eye. It looks like this. It has a little bit of peachy tone to it. And this one is the Chemic, what is it called? Creamy foundation stick. This one is not particularly good, but because I bought it and I need to use it up, so I now only use it in videos. I would not recommend you to go out and buy it. Sorry, I have to swipe away the swatches on my hand first, because I hate having swatches on my hand while doing makeup. I'm not going to take a concealer brush. This is actually a replica of the Fenty Beauty foundation brush, but I use it as a concealer brush. Because we have the eye base on the eyelid, so we have to be careful not to put concealer / foundation on there. The color corrector is in place. As you can see, it's very luminous color corrector and I love it. So we're going to be using this. I generally really like foundation stick because they're so easy to use, but this one is just really shit. We're now going to use a beauty sponge. I'm using the Equal Tools makeup sponge. I believe they only have one, so I'm using that one. Let's put some powder on. Today I am going to be using this Superior powder. It is also a Japanese product. It just looks so pretty and it smells like rose. It comes with the puff, but I don't use that. Just take a little bit and I do this. I tap it on first and then I swipe it. Okay, what the fuck, I literally look so white in here. I am never going to use that foundation stick ever again. Japanese makeup products are actually so much better than Korean makeup products. So if you're interested in Asian beauty, I would much rather you go for J beauty, I suppose, like Japanese beauty, rather than Korean beauty. K beauty are all about gimmicks and really quick releases, but I feel like there are only two K-beauty brands that I actually enjoy. One of them is called 3 Concept Eyes, 3CE, and the other one is Clio. Whereas J-beauty, Japanese beauty, a lot of them don't have great marketing or really luxurious packaging, but the quality of the product itself is very nice, and they are still very affordable. So if you're a Westerner and you're interested in Asian beauty, I would recommend you to go for Japanese beauty first, and then if you really enjoy the aesthetic or the gimmick created by K-beauty, you can still try it. Powder is on. We're now going into the eyeshadow. Today I'm going to be using two palettes. one is the first one is the NYX Phoenix palette. This is their ultimate shadow palette in Phoenix, and the other one is Main Squeeze by ColourPop. The plan for today was to use only the Main Squeeze palette because it's supposed to be a red palette, but I don't know, I feel like I can only see the red in Home Slice and Like Is Hot. Oh shit. The other shades are a little bit lackluster to me. They're not exactly as red as I would want to. So I brought in the NYX Ultimate palette in Phoenix, and I'm going to mix these two colors and put it in the crease. Using a pencil brush, this is the ColourPop. It doesn't have a number on there. Okay, so this is the ColourPop pencil brush. I accidentally squeezed it, so it's now a square instead of a circle, but it still does the job. So I'm gonna mix these two, as I mentioned before. Yo, I just love red so much. Tap it out. Just lightly, so that if you messed up, you can still change it. I'm not going to bring it all the way out. I'm just gonna bring it to exactly where my brow ends. And it's okay if it comes down a little bit, because we're going to be putting on a cut crease later. I feel like this is the part where it requires the most patience, and I always hold my breath whenever I do this. So after this bit, I might be a little bit out of breath. I spent 9 minutes on this shade. Let's swatch it for you. I'm going to swatch these two. These are basically the two brightest color on the palette. In the palette, I'm sorry, it shouldn't be on the palette, it should be in the palette. I'd say though, the NYX shadow swatched very horribly. As you can see, this one, it just looks so chalky, but they perform generally well on the eyelids when you're using a brush. So this one is this one, and the more orangey one is the second one. So if I mix them together, actually, it's the perfect red that I think the Main Squeeze palette is missing. I'm a little bit disappointed at the Main Squeeze palette because they don't have this kind of perfect bright red pocket red. So I'm glad that I have this. Now we've gotten that out of the way, let's go into the Main Squeeze palette. I think I'm going to be using Big Gulp here. Oh my god. ColourPop shadow though, they're so creamy. Yeah, I think this is alright. It's a little bit brown, but it also has the red tone in it. Going to be using this lower lash line brush that I always use. So let's put the softer color on the edge and slowly try to blend it out. Yes, this is working, guys. Okay, so I've now blended out the edge a little bit. It looks a little bit softer instead of like the side is just We are now going to cut our creases. I keep looking at the monitor instead of the camera. I'm sorry. Rude. When it comes to cutting creases, I always use my ColourPop concealer. This is their no filter concealer because it's very liquidy, but it also stays on very well. My one problem with this, it oxidizes so quickly. Good. And then we're going to be doing this eye. So I've done my very crappy and unprofessional cut crease. We are now going to use that flat brush again. I just cleaned the concealer off of it. We're going to use that flat brush again. We are going to be using Frosé. It's a really cute pink. It's not even a red, it's pink. That's why I don't like this palette, because none of that is actually red. See, this is a pink. Tap, 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 and then doop, doop, and put it on the cut crease area, but not all the way to the edge of the cut crease, because we are going to put in a golden liner in there later. So just go in like this. Now I'm just gonna stop here. I am going to put in a much darker red shadow to do a liner thing, so we can actually just leave it here. So we're now actually going to go back into the NYX Phoenix palette, and we're going to be using this color here. It's actually a very true gold or cool toned gold color. It's pretty good, isn't it? And then we're going to put that in our crease liner, taking a very tiny little spot concealer brush, actually grabbing this, tap tap tap, and then I'm gonna attempt a crease liner. It's not that bad. I think it's alright. But it's still a little bit chunky. I think it's because of the brush. So there's the golden eyeshadow. And then we are actually going to be putting on a glitter liner. Okay, change of plans, because as you can see, that original liquid liner that I have there is being completely smudged off by the red shadow. So what I'm going to do now is actually completely abandon that red shadow plan and use the NYX Epic ink liner and just do it over again. We're just gonna do a massive wing. Yeah, it's a little bit more balanced now. So we are now actually going to take this little mini brush, and I am going to repeat what happened up there and put it on my lower lash line. Lastly, I'm going to be using my finger and take the juicy fruit and put a little bit of shimmer on the tear line. Is it called the tear line? I don't even know. I just use the tiniest bit. I mean, I hope I did semi-okay. Finally, remember what I said about the glitter liner? The glitter I'm using is 3CE, the 3 Concept Eyes one. This one is, I feel like, is the tube version of Colourpop Keep It Platonic. It has a little bit of green / yellow glitter in it, but the base is clear. So we are going to be using this on our golden liner just to make it pop, you know. I'm so worried. And then I'm going to bring the glitter all the way down here, touching that black liner. It's semi-okay. It is semi-okay. Okay, cool. So finally, let's get quickly into the bronzer and lip and everything else. Let's curl our lashes first. Wait, I still need a mirror. How do I still need a mirror curling my lashes? I've been doing makeup for like 8 years. Because of the intensiveness of the eyes, I'm actually not going to be using a proper blusher. What I'm going to be using is a bronzer plus highlighter to make it look like a very neutral toned blusher. So the palette I'm using today is the Clinique, what is it called? Cheek Pop On The Glow Trio palette. I'm going to be mixing these two. This is the Sun-Kissed Pop and this is a Pearl Pop. Let me swatch it for you again. If we mix these two together, it will become a very neutral pinky kind of like blush thing. So we're gonna be doing that. The Pearl Pop, and then mix it with some of the Sun-Kissed Pop and just I love bringing my blush forward because if you can't tell, my face is actually quite long. So if I bring my blush forward, it kind of puts the attention in the center of my face and makes my face look a little bit rounder and less long like a horse. For highlighter, I'm going to be using the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Jinxie, I believe. This is a very, very golden shade, but it's like really light gold. It looks like this. I bought this thinking that this will be a true gold, but it ends up looking very pale, so I'm now just using it as a highlighter. That blush that we were using just now is already very shiny, but I like to have some extra glow, so. Is it working? I think it's working. Oh my god, this side is literally so blinding. So we're now at the end bit. Let's put on some lipstick to wrap this all up. The lipstick I'm using today is from a Japanese brand called Cybercolor. It is the ugliest packaging ever. It looks like tin foil. It looks like that first aid wrap that you wrapped around you whenever you feel too cold. But nonetheless, the formula is good. The colors are really pretty. This is their Viva Show Luxe Velvet lipstick in the color 02 Cheek Red Velvet. It looks like this. Color looks like this. It looks like it could be a little bit too orange, but we're gonna try it on, and if it doesn't work, we will switch to another lipstick. Smudge it out with my finger. I think it goes with the look pretty well. Or maybe they don't. You can be the judge of that. Please let me know if you think this lipstick suits my eyes. So we are at the end of this video. Here is how the whole look on me. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or comment anything that you want to comment down below. If you want to see more of this kind of makeup content coming from me, be sure to subscribe and maybe follow me on my makeup Instagram, and the link will be in the description box as well. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you very soon. Goodbye.